On today's video, I will be talking on support and resistance. Before I start, shout out to Desola Willie for your massive support and Daniel Monte. Thank you very much. I will be doing a random shout out from my subscribers. So if you want to get mentioned on my next video, then subscribe, like and share. So now let's move.
So in this session I'm going to be talking about support and resistance. So I'm going to be taking it step by step in a way that you're going to understand the concepts behind it. Now, support and resistance is basically the action of buyers and sellers in the market. Sellers usually want to take advantage of resistance so that they sell, and mostly buyers usually want to take advantage of support so that they buy. So now, usually support is a point in the market whereby people start demanding for that particular asset, while resistance is like a point in the market, is a zone in the market where people that have bought the commodity when it was low, they have already made enough profit, so now they want to sell it. When people start selling things off, it now becomes a resistance. That particular zone now becomes a resistance. That's basically the concept behind it. If you take a look at this chart now, you can see that this point is a very good support zone. It's a very good support zone because when it started from here, people started buying. So people that bought here, when it got to this level, they thought that okay, it's time for us to take profits, because what's the goal of trading? Is to make profit, right? So they thought that okay, it's time for us to take profits, so they started selling. Now people that have sold here, they always look back to buy at a lower price again. So it came back to this particular support zone. They started to buy again. It's pumped up. Then when it got to this zone, it wanted to come out a little bit. You can see this week here, it wanted to come out a little bit, but then sellers started to take over again. They brought the market down from this support, from this resistance here. They brought the market down back to this support. Then it started consolidating. Then finally they came up back here again. So they've thought that okay, we've made enough profit. They decided to sell off again. And there's one thing about support and resistance zone. It's just like, let me take an example, like an hammer. Like you're using a sledgehammer to hit a wall. When you hit it first time, second time, third time, accumulation of that force eventually is going to break. It's going to break that wall eventually. There was a support here before, it turned to a resistance here. The market started falling from here. This place, let's take a look at this zone. The market just some wheels just started to take liquidity from here. That was what made it to come to this, actually come to here. So this place that was okay, it was actually resistance before. So that was the concept behind when a support breaks, it becomes a potential resistance. When a resistance breaks, it becomes a potential support. So let's move to the next slide. So support and resistance is all about probabilities. That's what you should know, and it's not perfect. There's no trade strategy that is perfect. You just have to master what works for you. And some traders actually have confluences. This is a market structure strategy actually. This is market structure trading strategy actually. So now, some traders, they actually prefer to use support and resistance in combination with a trend. When there's a downtrend, you have lower highs and lower lows. What do I mean by lower highs and lower lows? This is the lowest point of the market here, right? This is the lowest point of the market. What I mean by lower lows, more lower points, more lower points, and more lower higher points. This was the highest place in the market before, and this was the highest. This was the when the market starts giving you more lower highs and lower lows, you should know that you're in a downtrend. What do I mean by lower lows and lower highs? This was an high before, right? Before this place became the highest point of the market, then this place became the highest point of the market. If you notice, each of the highest points in the market, they are coming lower. Now this place became the lowest point of the market, right? It now became the lowest point of the market. here became the lowest point of the market. When you have more lower points in the market, you should know that you're in a downtrend. Let me take it to let me remove all these drawings. Now this was the highest point of the market, right? This place became the highest point again. This place became the highest point again. This place became the highest point again. You should know that you're in a downtrend, and when you're in a downtrend, there will be more of resistance than support when you're in a downtrend. In an uptrend, is the opposite direction. This place was the highest point in the market before, right? Before this place became the highest point, then this place became the highest point, then here became the highest point, then here became the highest point. That's basically how to identify an uptrend or a downtrend. In that scenario, you use your, let me adjust this time frame to probably 15 minutes. In that scenario, you are going to use a trend line. And when you're using a trend line, like, you have 3 parts have to hold before you know that, okay, before you draw a perfect trend line, at least 3 points in the market have to respect the trend line. They have to respect trend line. Now this is obvious that you're in a downtrend, very obvious, because how was the trend line looking? The trend line is actually going down. That's another way to identify an uptrend or a downtrend. Let me look at another point where we can, okay, we can use the trend line here. Trend line here. I think 2 points have been. This is an uptrend. So that's just how to identify the trend with using trend line. This particular support and resistance zone actually respected. This place became a normal resistance because it was the previous resistance here, so it held again. People started coming. They started until it got here. So there's a probability that yes, ETH would actually bounce from here if this support zone holds. If the support holds, ETH will bounce from here, and probably you can short it again from this zone. But if it breaks out from here, the next if it breaks out from here, this place will become a support. Because support can turn resistance. If you take an example of what has happened in the past, you can see that when it actually got here, it started pumping up again to this place. So there's a probability that, okay, if this ETH bounces from this support here and gets to this resistance, if this resistance is not strong enough to hold it back down, there's a probability that ETH would find would be heading towards the next resistance, and the next visible resistance here is here. This is the next visible resistance, zone here. So that's like what I meant by looking at for past experiences. Look to the left of your chart, you see what has happened in the past. So let's go back to what we're doing. So now you have to identify pivot and reversals. What do I mean by pivot and reversals? You identify V's and square. What do I mean by V's? This is a V shape. That's basically how support and resistance always look like. V and inverse V. This inverse V, while this is V. So support and resistance, when there's a breakout, support becomes resistance and resistance becomes support. Look at this place, for example. Now it came here, this resistance held. Let's take, for example, this is support zone. So it bounced from this support to this resistance, it bounced back down to this support. It came here, this resistance was not strong enough to stop it from going up. The buyers were very strong in the market. They said, okay, we want to make enough profits, so they took it up to here. So they got tired at this point, they decided to come down back. Some of them decided to take profit. If you notice, this place was a resistance before. It was preventing the market from going up before. When it broke out. It now became a support. The market bounced from here. So when there's a broken support, that broken support becomes potential resistance. That's what you should look out for when if you are using support and resistance and trading strategy. When the support breaks, you look out, it becomes a potential resistance. When the resistance breaks, it becomes a potential support. Look at here. This was a resistance. It broke, it became a potential support, and it actually held its support. Let me go to the real-time trading now. See, let's go to the what has happened in the past in ETH charts. Now initially this was a support zone, right? Okay, it came here. This place initially was preventing the market from going up. If you look at what has happened in previous time frames, whenever the market gets here, it falls, right? It came to finally it came to this place. When it finally came here, this place now turned to a support. This place was initially resistance. This particular zone that was initially resistance, it now became a support. It started bouncing, but then it came back here again. I think probably there was a bad news about Ethereum, but people started shorting. That was what made it to break. But then when it came to this particular zone again, it started pumping. A former resistance has turned support here, right? Now this is the next resistance. It broke this resistance. This resistance became a support. It broke this resistance. This one became a support again. Then finally this resistance didn't break. It started coming down. This place that was a support here before that broke, it now turned to resistance. When it got to that zone, people started shorting from there. So in this particular time frame, I think no, let me use this horizontal line. This is a very strong resistance in the 15 minutes time frame. It got here, it didn't break it until it got here. When the sellers had to sell again to this zone, it didn't break here. It broke here a little, but it fell down back. It didn't break here. Let's find support and resistance in a lower time. Let's go to the bottom of our chart, horizontal line. This is a support. This is a support. So this is a resistance. It couldn't break the market. The market couldn't break this zone. It couldn't break it. It stopped here. People started selling again. Then where is our support here? Our support, there's a strong support at this place, at this particular place. Yeah, there's a strong support at this particular place, because each time the market came here, it bounced back. But then when the support broke, it became a resistance. It became a resistance when the support. So that's just basic concept behind support and resistance. That's just the concept behind it.
If you have any question, you can make use of the comment section. Thank you for watching and see you on my next video.